Hey, this is Absolute. One more again, which I got a little something that just came through. It was so crazy because it's this guy named Kevin, and he's talking about what's going on and everything like that. And this is dedicated to the NPCs that don't know what time it is. They don't have no clue about what's coming. That they think that they could just do whatever they want and everything like that, and don't be focused on reality. And they're gonna be all good because God got them. I'm gonna get to that in one more second. One more minute. Let's get into this.
At least 80% of black women.
One man's I'm not ready is another man.
Welcome to Absolutely Not for the Meek. Alright. I hope that this video right here shows you why I'm so firm on my dislike of NPCs. Let's go into this video right here by we'll see in a minute. Kevin, just Kevin. Let's go check him out and see what he's got to say.
With the migrants, they are bringing diseases with them. More measles being found in the Halstead and whatever location migrant shelter. The statistics they gave is 13% of the people can't show vaccination records or any history of treatment. Now, basically, they suspect there could be possible measles spreading in between these people, and they're bringing it here.
And Elon Musk weighing in, saying this.
Yo, and you know what the crazy part is? My child's doctor just told me how measles, there's an outbreak going on, and yeah, should be careful. Yeah, unreal.
Quote, this administration is both importing voters and creating a national security threat from unvetted illegal immigrants. It is
Facts.
highly probable that the groundwork is being laid for something far worse than 9/11. He writes, just a matter of time.
26 people killed 3,000 Americans on 9/11.
All 6 intel chiefs about worldwide threats.
I worry that among the people that are coming across the border that are evading law enforcement.
And you don't have to look any further than our southern border. The director.
I told you this would be the Civil War.
There's a particular network that has where some of the overseas facilitators of the smuggling network have ISIS ties.
So there is a network we're concerned about that has facilitators involved in it that have ties to ISIS and other terrorist organizations.
Correct.
I worry that there are some people among those that mean to do us harm. Do you share that concern?
I do.
All right, guys, we got the latest from FBI Director Wray.
Information that certain smugglers with connections to ISIS have tried to get people in the country. Listen to this.
There is a particular network that has where some of the overseas facilitators of the smuggling network have ISIS ties that we're very concerned about and that we've been spending an enormous amount of effort with our partners investigating.
So there is a network we're concerned about that has facilitators involved in it that have ties to ISIS and other terrorist organizations.
Correct.
26 people killed 3.
You know, I have a little interesting caveat. Did you hear today that a judge blocked Biden from using funds that were allocated to build the wall. So therefore, the funds to build the wall to protect the border was already funded. The wall was already funded by Trump, and Biden put a stop to that. Man, so this is intentional, very much intentional. This is the Civil War. It's gonna be chaos. Get ready.
50,000 Americans on 9/11. I worry that among the people that are coming across the border that are evading law enforcement, that there are some people among those that mean to do us harm. Do you share that concern?
I do.
Sometimes people say, well, this is just a fantastic theory. It's no basis in reality. Do you consider that to be a frivolous consideration?
I do not.
Terrifying.
So they talked about, China, the land purchases. They talked about Iran, what they're doing here with their proxies, how they're still trying to kill officials like Secretary of State Pompeo, illegals, TikTok, Russia, and the elections. There's huge concerns about AI and the elections. They said it's already taken place. I did not know this. In Ukraine, they had Zelensky telling everyone to put down your arms. Mm-hmm. So I had no idea about that. Think about that right before the election. If something comes out as Donald Trump or Joe Biden to say something cataclysmic the day before, the October surprise could actually be artificial intelligence.
They've already found 200 people have tried to get in the country that they've encountered on the terror watch list. Those are the ones we know of. And to hear the senators talk about 26 people responsible for 9/11, that's all it took to do that. And we've had millions that have come across our border. And then Chad Wolf, when we had him on earlier, he was saying Christopher Wray's been sounding the alarm on this since December. And the Biden administration has not been listening. He talked about the blinking lights, remember, in December?
That's right.
The blinking lights everywhere. And he's kept Joe Biden, this is his border crisis. He's kept the border open.
But now Democrats have a talking point because of the legislation they did not pick up in the Senate. Senator Kelly and Senator Ossoff.
You know, the NPCs will still do their thottery. They'll just boy, I think they'll do it all the way to their death. I think they will. I think they will. They have no clue. They don't want to know. They'll ignore this information and just go out and party and mess around. What is it called? The drink, party, and screw generation.
Says here, we're not going to make sure that they're not criminals. Where they're
coming from and wanted where they came from, and they're just fleeing to the United States because they're trying to get away from what they were coming from. But we just let them in. Don't worry about it. Sanctuary city, just let it go. Doesn't matter. No big deal. Everybody deserves love and care, even if they get you sick and your kids sick, and then your kids die. That person still deserves care. You can't blame them for that. He wouldn't be a human being if you did. Who cares if your kid died or you died? Your family went without and lost everything because the sole provider of the family contacted some kind of viral disease from somebody else, some airborne condition from somebody else. Who cares, right? No big deal. We got more migrant murders now. I can't even keep track of what's going on lately with all the bullshit because
there's more and more conditions every single day where you see migrants robbing people, migrants robbing stores, migrants in jail, and migrants murdered some 20-year-olds, some 22-year-olds, some infant. Yeah, all this shit's going on. And guess what?
And guess what? People can't do anything about it because our government is to blame for this, and they are in control, especially the Democratic Party, man. Holy shit. I mean, it's both parties, don't get me wrong. But the Democratic Party, I think a lot of you that voted for the Democratic Party, you need to wake up real quick and realize they are like the worst of the worst, the evil of the evilest. And
that socialist march, this type of mindset is absolutely disgusting. That's all what they're about. And these people come from countries that are like that, and they're accustomed to it.
So naturally, they're going to vote for it and cling to it. That's the type of bullshit that we have going on now. And we're going to be hurting real bad, real soon.
Yeah.
Look at the price of groceries and everything, almost doubled. I mean, just go fill up a shopping cart now. It's actually kind of funny because I saw this meme today and it says, you know, Biden was touting about all the improvements and all the great things that he's done. He goes, look, when Trump was president, your gas tank only held $30. Now that I'm president, your gas tank can hold $90. But yeah, it costs you thousands.
Look at the price of groceries and everything, almost double. Look. I mean, just to go fill up a shopping cart now, it costs you over $1,000. You know, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that we have to go through stuff like this, and we're continuing to give billions of dollars away to other countries and people that are not even from the United States, but we don't take care of our own people.
But guess what? If you're good with it, I'm good with it. I'm fine. That's what happens when you just don't give a F no more. Because I'm so sick and tired of these retards not knowing, not listening. Boy, hey, let it happen.
Own issues going on right here in the United States. Absolutely
fucking utter ridiculousness.
And people ask me all the time, well, do you want them here?
Are you a racist or are you a prejudiced? No, I'm not. I'm absolutely not. But if you asked me, or if that was the definition of being racist or prejudiced, I don't give a fuck. It is what it is.
But I do want to chime in here and insert a clip from Melanie King about how they're trying to spin this and how they're trying to play this. So take a look, take a listen. All right, guys, let's have a listen to Melanie King.
What this is, and I want everybody to see it clearly, federal policy drives illegal immigrant crime and victimization. And that's the focus, other than our victims of human trafficking. Listen, folks, I want to introduce you to Andres Gill, okay? Here's this guy. He's also on this board, but get a look at him.
So she's actually watching.
He came down
Sheriff
here from
Grady
New York
Judd
with 3 females,
and his video.
All of them are in the country
exposing
illegally. Did you hear
government
what I said?
paying for illegal immigrants
All
to
here
sell
illegally.
box.
He's the one that comes with them
Shocking.
to drive them. These ladies are all
they need a legal driver when they're all illegal.
by
I
a
don't
human.
get it.
You know, everybody's going to be selling box. All of them are going to be selling box by the time they're done. That's the plan. That's the plan for the dummies that don't listen. That don't want to know, that don't want to be prepared, don't want to follow instruction. They'll be selling box. What the hell they giving out for free to everybody anyway, right?
And he's probably not a legal driver, so I don't know why they're
We think
opposed to
their human
breaking some
trafficker
laws,
is a female.
but not all law. All
She
laws.
sets up their appointments. She puts their ads online. She tells them where to go. And by the way, on Friday, the victims of human trafficking, and we've graded them out, 3 of them that are here illegally from Venezuela, 3 of them have to pay her $3,000 a piece on Friday.
Unreal.
Or else they're threatened.
Are y'all making
Hey
3K
guys,
a week?
it's your girl
Are y'all
Melanie,
making 3,000 a
and
week?
I know you're trying to figure out, why am I bringing this up? Why am I bringing up Sheriff Grady down there in Polk County? Shout out to Polk County. I used
What do y'all
to
think about
live
Melanie's new
over in that
hairstyle?
area, but I'm bringing this up because I want you to hear how they are used, how the Democrats, how the progressives are using taxpayer dollars to support prostitution and illegal sex trafficking and sex rings within the United States with illegal immigrants.
Can you believe that?
Not only they're supporting this, they're financially contributing to it. Biden's policies are contributing to
Money
sex
coming out of your
trafficking
check.
of these illegal immigrant women.
Going to
And
these migrants.
If we
these
say anything
illegals,
about
these
it, like according to
legal prostitution
MSNBC,
rings.
anybody who's upset about the border crisis, well, we're racist. We just hate other people. We just hate brown
Lord, here we
people.
go.
I hate brown people.
Yeah.
That's
Give me
what
a
you're
break.
telling me?
Give me a
Oh,
break.
no. Okay. When the racist doesn't work. Well, no, I am misogynist. I hate women. That's what you're going
They
to
try to
tell
play
me.
these
No,
games.
wait.
They try to play the
I
game.
hate women of color. Yeah, that is that it? What, like, how are they going to spin the narrative again? This is why I like covering these stories, because there's not much they can say to me. They try to use the victimization points to shut everybody else down. But when it comes over here, oh,
They can't shut me down because I know exactly what I'm against.
boy, dear, you're going to have a tough time fitting that narrative onto me. But let's continue,
Well,
because
the
I want
difference,
you to hear
there's some smart
how
folks out there,
despicable and
there's
destructive
not.
the
And
policies at the border, the open borders that the progressives
they're banking
want,
on
like
some of these less
AOC, she
intelligent
has
folks,
said
these folks who are still asleep,
there is no problem. There
casting
is
their
no
vote
border crisis.
for a
If
repeat.
it was up to her, y'all, she would just have it. You could just come on into the country, you get your documents, you can vote same day. And this is where a lot of Black people need to wake up, who are still on this Democratic plantation, monolithic thinking, and they try to use a coon and use a sellout if you don't vote the same way as everybody else. That's skin folk. Okay. As I always say, skin folk does not mean you are kinfolk, that you have the best interest in mind of me. Okay, we are all individuals, even though we have the same, we share the same race, that we're the same skin color. We're people of color. Same thing about gender. Just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I agree with everything they claim is for women. When most of their policies,
it's almost like Democrats are not for people in general. Period.
When I hope that a lot of Black people see, and they're starting to wake up, and this is why you're seeing record numbers of Black people turning towards the Republican Party or just not voting at all, which I'm hearing a lot of people talk about, because their goal is that they realize they already have the Black vote. They don't need to do anything for Black people anymore. First of all, they've never done anything for Black people, but every 4 years they spend the thing. Hillary Clinton comes out with hot sauce. Bill Clinton plays the saxophone. Joe Biden buys us fried chicken. Those types of things to pander to us while they do nothing for the community. But now they don't care about you, so much so in these major cities, they're taking away funding from Black communities there and giving it to these illegal immigrants. Why? Because that's the new voting block. That's the voting block that they can grow. The Latinx, which most Latinos hate that term because it puts them.
Sir, I can guarantee you that. Now, let's go to what it is, what you're going to see. Let me show you the future. This is what the administration has had planned. You're not going to see any change. You're going to see more fraud.
Voting. Chris, you're very smart. We can fix this. Can you pull up the first stat real quick for me when it comes down to smartphones? If you can pull that up, Rob. Do you know which one I'm talking about? The Pew Research that you guys just sent me. Pull this one up. Check this out, folks. So smartphones, zoom in a little bit. So let's first read at the top what it says. It says Black and Hispanic adults in the U.S. are less likely than white adults to have a traditional computer or home broadband. Okay, fine. No problem. This is from 2021, 2 years ago. However, if you don't have home broadband or traditional computer, how many of us would agree this would be a $100,000 sponsorship deal? But I'm going to show it to the world and see how many of you guys can see a technology like this being available to us today to vote. Rob, if you can play that clip. I sent this to Tom yesterday.
NFID.
Watch this.
The most disruptive and game-changing advancement ever witnessed in international and cross-border payment verification. Shockingly, nothing exists that allows individuals to prove account ownership when transacting online until now. NFID stands as a hyper-secure yet user-friendly tool that creates trust across all digital transactions and touchpoints. Once logged into an NFID profile by using multi-factor biometric and blockchain-backed verification, anyone can simply copy and paste a crypto wallet address or bank account, including IBAN or SWIFT codes, and allows us to instantly verify the rightful account owner. If the intended recipient also holds a KYC-approved NFID profile, we can definitely confirm that we are transacting with the rightful person or entity from anywhere in the world. International and cross-border payments are no longer based on blind trust and guesswork. If it's not verified by NFID, it's not worth the risk. Trust but verify.
By the way, this podcast is not sponsored by these guys. He has no clue I'm showing this. I saw this, and I'm wondering if Hispanics have access to smartphones as much as whites do. If Blacks have access to smartphones as much as whites do, by 2%, why do we have a hard time? Maybe we start voting with maybe not IDs. You come in with your ID and I kind of show my face and I go like this. And if we can do that, yep. Nope, this is not Patrick. This is not him. Yeah, okay, good. This is him. We can verify this. Why are we so worried about finding systems to verify? Let me give you data and then I'm going to come to my friend here, Chris. Ready? So 16 out of 50 states in America do not require an ID to vote. Those 16 out of 50 states, Rob, if you can pull this up, those 16 out of...
Do you hear that? 16 states don't require you to show ID. And all these states, California, socialist, Nazi, all these states don't require any ID. Wow. That's all where the migrants went. Look at that.
50 states have 212 of the electoral votes out of the 538. Let me say it again. The 16 out of 50 states, you have no need to go like this and walk in when you're voting to say, hey, can you please pull out your ID and do one of these things? Nope, you don't have to do it. They're not asking for your ID. They could care less about your ID. 212. Now watch this. 11 out of 50 states don't require a photo ID. You can just give an ID, but no photo. Did you guys understand me so far? Those 11 out of 50 states that don't require a photo ID to vote have 69 electoral votes out of the...
They're going to steal the election again. Or even worse, maybe we'll have a cyber attack and they'll knock out the electricity like they did with the phone lines. Oh, I hope you're ready. I hope you're good. I hope you're prepared.
The 538. 69 plus 212, it's a sweep forever for the left. Just so you know this. This is not me telling you this. This is the government telling you this, what our guidelines are by states today. And the rest, 23 out of 50 states, only 23, less than 50% of our states actually require to go like this. How pathetic is that, Chris, to have something like that? You don't have to be a left, right, or a center person to say that doesn't make sense. What are your thoughts on this, the way we're voting today?
There's a lot that goes to it. You have half the representation of the U.S. government represents 1/3 of the...
Chris Cuomo, full-blown idiot. I'm not going to go ahead and keep on playing this because it just doesn't make any sense. He's going to argue that he agrees that you shouldn't have to show ID. He's a Democrat. His brother was a Democratic governor, right? Oh my goodness. I said, gotta leave this place. I said, gotta go ahead and invest and do certain things. And it went on deaf ears. Now it is coming. And it's whatever. I really don't give a... I really can't. Why bother? Why bother? Everybody thinks they know every fucking thing. They think they know, and they don't know. You try to drop knowledge on them, and they just, oh no. They think you don't know nothing. Well, guess what? I'm more than happy to let the NPCs do what they do. I'm good. I'm done. They so smart. They know. They're the epitome of morals and value. They destroy their homes. They destroy their spouses. They destroy their country. All for a measly, worthless dollar. Or some measly sex. It's disgusting. All right, well, I just wanted to do that real quick. I mean, I could go more. I could go more with. Let me see. There was a video with what's his name? Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock was showing. I tell you, boy, I be wondering sometimes how America does what it does. How Americans, the stuff as an American, as a husband, what you got to deal with, what you got to deal with. I think I'm gonna show it. Just give me a sec while I find it, because I'm not, I'm just gonna play it right off from the from YouTube. And what it is how you could be so far off for where your spouse is. How is it that I don't know how people marry people like this, and it's supposed to be a successful marriage. It's a successful freaking marriage. I found it. Now let me share it with you. We're gonna go into the full-blown dysfunction of the female.
I'm gonna walk you back a year. A year ago, when I was on Tucker Carlson's program and said some pretty provocative things in the aftermath of the Tyree Nichols beating by Memphis police officers.
I hope this is it.
And I got to the point of talking about the matriarchy and how matriarchal culture is destroying major cities and Black communities. I want to start there. I want to refresh your memory. Here I am on Tucker Carlson's show talking and trying to wake up Black people to like Black men, 5-on-1. Looked like gang violence to me. It looked like what young Black men do when they're supervised by a single Black woman. And that's what they got going on in the Memphis Police Department. They've elected some or put some Black woman in charge of the police force. And we're getting the same kind of chaos and disunity and violence that we see in a lot of these cities that are run by single mothers. If we want to discuss the breakdown of family that leads to disrespect for authority, that causes you to resist the police and run from the police and not comply with the police because you resist authority at all time, because there was no male authority in your home, let's have that discussion. But that's not where they want to take us. They want to take us down the path of saying, you know what, this is Tucker Carlson's fault. This is some random white, this is Donald Trump's fault. It's not. It's the breakdown of family and the buying in to all these left-wing things that have nothing to do with promoting family.
Exactly. Now, let's get to this other part. Let me see here. Can I go there?
I don't think everyone appreciates that the familiar young favorite Dems over Joe Biden, when he says you ain't Black if you don't vote for me, he's stealing that talking point from his Black surrogates, his Black advisors. They've made voting against your values. Let's say you got conservative values. You don't really believe in abortion. You don't believe in same-sex marriage. They use other Black people to say, man, throw them values out the window. You know them people on the Republican side, they're racist. Go ahead and vote for these people that are pro-abortion, pro-same-sex marriage, pro-alphabet mafia. Throw your values out the window. That is what's going, and it's been particularly acute, in my view, with Black men and Black women in a relationship, marriage or a relationship. The Black woman leverages the black man to vote her politics and to throw his values out the window. I want to play you a clip from BET.
Dysfunction.
And again, this is the kind of stuff that is very disconcerting to the left. And it's a sign that we're starting to snap out of it. I want to play this clip from BET, and then I'm going to circle back and connect it to Hazelwood Central and the things I said about Tyree Nichols in Memphis. Here's the clip from BET with this black couple acknowledging, the woman acknowledging, yeah, I voted Democrat, but now I'm thinking about voting Trump. Play the clip.
So in 2008 and 2012, you voted for
Barack Obama.
2016,
I voted for Donald Trump.
Hillary Clinton. 2020,
Donald Trump.
Biden. And who will you vote for in 2024?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. You may vote for the former president.
I may.
Why do you say that?
My views on certain things have changed. I am very much so riding the fence.
What are you struggling with?
Being in a pattern of doing the same thing that I've been doing, because it's kind of like second nature.
I would say dysfunctional and delusional. Just don't know, have no damn clue.
Like when you go in a poll, you hit Democrat. Something has to happen. I mean, it's just so expensive to survive. And we're planning on having kids.
Oh, when it comes down to hitting your pockets. When it comes down to hitting your pockets, you can't get your fancy outfits and go out and party and eat the nice foods. Maybe go out with your side piece. Man, we got problems, right?
I don't want to live in a stressful environment trying to rub two pennies together to try to make it either.
When did you make that decision to check a different box?
Donald Trump's first term. I'm saying first term because I'm pretty sure he'll be in there for a second term here soon. But in either case, post-Obama, I decided that the party just wasn't suitable to the goals that I had.
How did you come to that conclusion? Because at the end of the day, former President Obama was the first African-American president in history.
That's just
true. I mean, as a black man, I would assume that meant something.
Absolutely. You know, I attended the inauguration on his first term. I grew up outside of Washington, D.C. in the 80s and 90s, came through the system as an institutional Democrat, went through a lot of the experiences that young black men go through, good and bad, ended up leaving that environment, grew up, started looking at the world through a new lens.
So they're not at liberty to say what I'm about to say. And again, I'm speculating on what the man's job is, but you know, he's probably got some kind of corporate job. His wife probably has some sort of corporate job. They look.
Man, that is the matriarchy. You see the thing, matriarchy burning. They push this crap. But let me tell you something. The patriarchy is going to return at full force. I said it in another video. Look at who's coming across the border. You got Muslims, Africans, and Chinese. Those three right there are patriarchy. Oh, let me tell you something. 4. Don't forget the Hispanics. Oh my God. Yo, it's going to be straight up patriarchy. Patriarchy. Women are going to be getting their ass kicked left and right. You go walk outside and everything and looking at your migrant neighbor beating the crap out of his wife or hearing her screaming up in the house. No problems. And it'll be just the norm. Welcome to the new America.
Look very professional to me. Even if it's not corporate, they deal with corporations, even if they're, let's say they're independent. And so they're not at liberty to say what I believe is the real driving force. And there's a recognition that matriarchal culture does not.
You know, they got, what is it, femicide? Femicide or fanticide in Mexico, where they just kill women on a regular basis. Man, and you got that's I would think that's probably in a lot of the Hispanic community. And shoot, you know they do it in Muslim communities. They do it in Africa. Man. Mm.
Work. And this woman, the woman there, the wife there, just said, you know, we're in this pattern of basically doing the same thing over and over and over again. And what she's saying is that we're being insane. We keep pulling the lever for the same thing over and over and over and again, and look at the results we're getting. And what she's not, and she should not say, TV, because it could hurt her in a corporate environment, work situation, is, you know, this feminism stuff and this woman leadership stuff and this woman king stuff, it doesn't work. It
Exactly.
produces chaos.
Chaos.
Today's show is about matriarchy burning. The matriarchy is being burned down. The lab rats have figured out, hey, we keep falling for the banana in the tailpipe. We keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, and we're looking at our kids, and we're looking at our cities, and we're looking at the insanity increase and increase and increase. And now it sounds like these two are thinking about having kids. And they're like, are we gonna keep pulling the same lever? And these are conversations I was having with friends of mine that are like brothers to me. The guys I played football with at Ball State that I've been friends with ever since 1985. These guys are all married, all have kids. And I've been trying to say to them for the past 10 to 12 years, what about your kids? What are we leaving them? And now, as they age and look and say like, wow, what have we left our kids?
Well, what you left them is a matriarchal female that has destroyed the husband, his legacy, and anything he can give to the children. Anything they could have left the children. Yes. Because she just F's up every goddamn thing. Don't listen. Don't want to go ahead and follow the leader, the person that knows more. Then that blah 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 blah. Just over and over again. That's why I keep on saying on this podcast, I say, yo, we're done. It's over. We are destroyed. You're watching the throes of destruction right now, right in your face. These African dudes, they got 6 chicks, American chicks or whatever, UK, American, that went over there and they got with some African dudes and they got hit in the back of the head with a freaking hammer. You know? Man, because they were dysfunctional. They were delusional. They don't know how to obey their husband. They wanted a husband over there, and guess what? Over there, you're gonna give it up anytime, wanted, any place, and you're gonna deal with him going and messing with other women. But guess what? Now it's here. Guess what? You got what you wanted. You voted Democrat.
In terms of an overall culture, my friends have been excellent parents, have raised a lot of beautiful kids, but they know they're sending off their kids into a matriarchal culture. My friends have traditional nuclear families, they're religious, they have a faith in God. They have a standard that they hold themselves to, and they want to send their kids off to. And so the question I kept asking all of my friends was, who are your daughters going to marry? Who are your sons going to marry? If all of the kids, if you're sending your little black babies off into a matriarchal world and you've raised them in a nuclear family, what are you sending them off into? And so, again, these people are wise and smart. What are they going to say on national TV? That, hey, man, this LGBTQ alphabet mafia stuff, all of these young black boys that have been feminized, all of these young black girls that have been instilled with a masculinity, we reject that, and we know who's been selling that. They can't say that's what they're rejecting. But that is my theory. That is my belief. There is a rejection of matriarchal rule because of the results. And that's, again, when I talked about the Tyree Nichols thing, and people got very upset with me. How dare you blame the matriarchy? This was a group of black men. Women didn't have anything to do with it. Why would you blame that police chief? Because it's my argument. There is not one thing wrong with black people. Not one thing. Nothing is wrong with us. Everything is wrong with a matriarchal culture. It produces chaos, emotion, and violence. And so Memphis, that's why, very black city, run by a bunch of black politicians, and they can, let's install a woman police chief. Because what we need, what'll fix everything, is more female leadership in the black community. It doesn't work.
No, it don't.
Memphis is ruled by violence and chaos and feminized men who act out violently and emotionally because they haven't been discipled by men. Now, let's go to St. Louis.
All right, well, I think that's enough. I think you get the logistics of it. But the female will continue her thottery all the way into oblivion. Salute her. Praise her. Because, I mean, what the hell else are you going to do? Right? This is her right here.
Come here little bit, girl, come here little. Come here little, girl, come here little. Come here little bit, girl, come here little. Come here little, girl, come here little. Come here little, girl, come here little.
Just always wanting attention.
Movement of feminism is the ultimate example of not choosing your enemies wisely. You chose men as being the enemy. 40 years later, 50 years later, you're 65 years old, single, not married, no kids. You're living in an apartment or a condo with a dog or a cat. That's all you ever talk about. And you're lonely and you're sitting there saying, I was wrong. Men are not the enemy. But guess what? That movement stole 50 years of your life. And how painful that is.
Man, it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be so interesting. Me, I know what it is. I know where it's going. And, you know, I've had enough. I had enough. I tried my hardest. I always have. And you know, I was gonna do a topic one day. When you think you strive for the best, you strive to achieve goals, you bust your hump day in and day out to get your family to a certain level of prosperity, and it just ain't enough. It's unappreciated. It's not respected. You tear up your body and everything. You stress yourself. You get old early just to be unappreciated. You know, I had a friend that died from alcoholism because he was only 30. I think he was 35, 36 years old. This happened years ago. And he drunk himself to death. He did not feel appreciated by his wife. And he just would drink himself just to get through and everything. And he just died one day. And I was like, man, I was all I could think. I said, I warned you about getting with that chick. I warned you. But let me tell you something, that chick is virtually every chick. Oh yeah. They all be foul as hell, don't have no damn clue. Just operating in emotion. Which now the new thing is why these females don't like Trump? Because they don't like the way he talk. They don't go ahead and look at the good stuff he did, how you had a booming economy. No, well, I wouldn't say booming, but it was moving. It was money was being made, you know? And all because the way he talked. It was like, yo, I mean, but majority of the people ain't smart enough to really know what Donald Trump was really doing in New York, how he got all that money. He was screwing over the mob. He would do deals with connected dudes with construction companies and everything. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to pay you for that. And he would use his pull with the NYPD that they wouldn't mess with him. That's why he had NYPD as bodyguards. He had regular bodyguards and he had police, you know? So he was like the Teflon Don in New York. Bob couldn't even touch him. Those are the people he screwed over. But you know, allegedly. It's alleged. But all because they like the way he talked. Even though the man did good work. You know what I'm saying? Men nowadays they can do good work. Do work, good work, supply a roof over your head, clothes on your back, get things done for you, make sure you're good. And what do? You tear them down and destroy them. Boy, they ain't shit. They ain't shit. And when they done, they go ahead and run around and get some dude that don't give a damn about them. Just wanna just wanna impregnate, and then when you don't act right and everything, or just be a psychopathic leech. All type of psychopaths, boy. You know, I always wondered whenever you got guys that they know that for what you have children, all right? You have the husband that is there, but yet they still be pressing. They still. And then they go ahead and be like, oh, well, I took off the condom because I wanted to get you pregnant. Like, what the hell? What? Oh, yeah. You ain't noticed? You dummy? I tell you, man, wanna lock you in with a baby. Now they want to have a baby with you too. And guess what? They still don't learn. Still don't learn. It's unbelievable. But what do I know? Let the narcissists do what they do. You got the narcissistic asshole that likes to impregnate everybody so he can use them up. And you got the narcissistic female that's like a full-blown parasite, sucking everybody dry, except for the ones she loves. All right, until next time, y'all.
Yes, that's it. Quite a ride, huh?
Oh, well, it was nice while it lasted, right?
It was nice while it lasted.